I really liked your introduction last week, so I wanted to just retweet.
Do you even listen to the show?
Retweet it, but also I wanted people to think, wow, they accidentally tuned into last week's episode. You did not.
I listen every week.
Do you?
Well, I have to upload it.
Do you listen to yourself?
I upload it and I listen. Yeah, I listen to it.
Oh. Well, fantastic.
I want to make sure we didn't say anything dumb. You know?
Well, that is true every week. You've turned into turned in. I can never say that word. Tuned into another episode of the greatest podcast in Payne County by two Catholic priests. Father Kerry Wakulich. I'm here with my.
I'm co-responsible. If you listen to last week's episode,
I'm co-responsible.
Inside joke.
I'm also co-responsible.
We are co-hosts
of Pastors of Payne. So I'm the pastor of the former church on the corner of Miller and Knobloch.
R.I.P.
I know. It's not knocked down yet, but it's
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Let's save that for the episode of what to do this summer.
Boys to Men. That's this episode.
That's this episode. We're going to talk about Boys to Men and maybe some things we should do.
Boys to Men is probably playing at some like random tiny casino. If you are a college student and you don't know who Boys to Men is,
wow.
We recommend an immediate stop the playing of this and go to YouTube and look up Boys to Men.
Any recommendations if they were to divert their attention?
I believe their original album was I believe it was called Motown Philly, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Maybe?
Motown Philly back again?
Boys to Men were great.
Yeah, they were incredible. Yes.
They were great.
So, okay, back into this. So,
let's do a whole episode on Boys to Men.
Well, how do we get... Anyway, things to do this summer. Put it on the list. Boys to Men, ABC, BBD, East Coast Family.
So funny.
The deconsecration of St. John.
Okay, so
happened.
Talk us through this.
There's no such thing as apparently a deconsecration, as Father John grandson.
Yeah.
But it's like the closing of your parish.
So what is the deal? All right, so I mean we've talked about this numerous times, but so St. John's is still a parish.
It's still a parish.
You're just a parish without a building.
So the church, the ground has all been consecrated to St. John the Evangelist.
Yep.
So it's still St. John the Evangelist. And we just air quotes,
So the building, right. So if somebody, as they're listening to this, mid-May.
What day this is air? This airs like the 10th?
May 16th.
Oh, May 16th.
So when you go, if I showed up at St. John's, it's closed. I mean, the building.
It's
empty.
It's empty.
It's empty.
It emptied the 1st of May.
And all of the the stuff. I mean, so there's where's the couch? Where's the couch?
The couches are all over at our campus ministry house, which is the old youth house for St. Francis Xavier.
Okay, over on
the couches.
Hester?
The couches are over at old St. Francis Xavier in the offices.
Yep.
The couches are not in Old St. Francis Xavier Church because we don't put couches in the church.
So what about, let's talk about the church itself, the sanctuary, the altar.
Gone. Baptismal font. Gone.
Where? Gone where?
Gone. Pews. Gone.
I'm worried. Where did they go?
They went to this little bitty town on the Arkansas border to a little parish named San Juan Diego. St. John Diego. St. John
James.
St. John James.
Yeah,
the Sons of Thunder. The Sons of the Thunder Parish in Stillwell, Oklahoma. Former pastor of St. John, Father Stuart Crevcore, gave them a lovely
beautiful
home.
I think this is beautiful. One of the beautiful things about being Catholic is that we're in this together. We are individual parishes, but we are part of something larger than ourselves, which is a diocese, the Diocese of Tulsa and Eastern Oklahoma, and we are part of the larger Catholic Church. So when the word went out that St. John's was building a brand new church, then there started to be inquiries of, hey, what are you doing
with this?
Where's your altar going? And so in this case, St. John's is building because the existing structure is too small. But then on the other side of the state, on the east side, kind of on the Arkansas border, there's a little town called Stillwell, which is a mission church of
St. Bridget
in Tahlequah, which is where Father Stewart is, formerly of St. John's. And they have an influx of people.
Uh-huh. And they need a church.
To build a new church.
And they have a dilapidated storefront building, and they're building
and
a
so
church.
they've been kind of this missionary sort of, anyway, and now they are going to get really beautiful things they would not be able to afford.
It's a maybe $150,000 in material.
So they would not be able Stillwell would not be able to afford the kind of the quality, because they're a new parish, and it's largely kind of migrant. I don't know all the ins and outs, but kind of migrant farmers who
work at chicken plants, live on the Arkansas-Oklahoma border.
So they're able to benefit from the generosity of past and present parishioners of St. John's to be able to have this stuff. Okay, that's very cool. So now let me ask you this. I am an OSU student, and I'm going to be here this summer. Maybe I'm taking classes. I got an internship. Mm-hmm. I'm an student athlete. What do I do?
CatholicPokes.com, the website. You can find all the info on there. And then for Sunday weekdays, we're going to be using... did you know this? Were you aware of this? New St. Francis Xavier?
Yes.
Hey, by the way, do you have that contract to me yet?
I really do. I got
you sent it. You sent it. We were joking about this for months. Like, hey, can we get this contract? Can you? He's like, I got to update it with the lawyers. So I'm still asking him even after he signed it and sent it over.
Yes.
So we're going to be hanging out at your place using your volleyball.
The new church.
The new St. Francis.
Country Club Road.
And then in August, we're going to make the move to Old St. Francis, which we're like identifying with this phrase. St. John is renting Old St. Francis from New St. Francis. So just so like St. John Campus Ministry at Old St. Francis. St. John Campus Ministry at New St. Francis. So like, there's things that you won't have going on. They're not on your calendar because they're on our calendar because we're renting the space from you.
Yeah. So that'll be, we ask for everyone's patience and diligence in, you've got to be specific for this next year and a half of like when you're having an event, you have to be very specific of where are we going to 6th and Duck? The West on West Street, or are you going to Country Club?
And we just say old and new.
Right.
And it just like boom, boom.
Yep.
Everybody knows where New St. Francis is. So we just sort of use those clarifying points. So you like this summer, there's a Catholic Pokes group me that's going out, like all the events. So we have things planned Monday through Sunday for college students. Clay Furley.
When in doubt, go to CatholicPokes.com.
Or and then it's got my telephone number on there, so you just call me and be like, "Hey."
In the middle of the night.
I prefer like 2:35 a.m.
He loves the. He loves to be awakened while he's sleeping. Okay, so the other piece of life is like COVID and coming out of the global pandemic, which I mean is by no means over. I mean, you look at. We just had actually a parishioner. We have a lot of international, families from other countries, who are here for professors and grad students and lots of other reasons. And their mother died in India of COVID.
Yeah, it was at one point it was
India,
like 4,000 people
India,
a day.
It's brutal, just brutal. So it's not over. But at the same time, here in the United States, with our vast resources, and being a first world country that has our stuff together for the most part. The vaccines have been, gone out. A lot of people, we've both been vaccinated. A lot of people, and so things are definitely opening up in Oklahoma. So we want to encourage you to have a productive and beautiful, prayerful summer.
We're back to this.
So let's talk about the summer.
We're back.
What should people?
Boys to Men, do? ABC, BBD. So a Boys to Men.
I'm just going to give you the breakdown, and then Father Kerry has lots of things to tell you about what you should do this summer. Places to go, cool and interesting things to see. So let me just give you the breakdown of the summer at St. Francis Xavier.
Okay,
are you ready for this?
I am.
So we have all the regular Mass schedule as usual. Daily Mass, Sunday Mass, all good. Come. One thing we're adding is
college students,
Saturday,
leeches.
a Saturday morning 9 a.m. Mass.
Victory!
Every Saturday except Holy Saturday. Every Saturday 9 a.m. So that's nice for people, just for people to be able to come for a daily Mass. By the way, I mentioned this to my people last week. Saturday morning Mass does not count as Sunday Mass. So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Okay. The other thing I'm doing this summer is I'm teaching. We're coming back to it. We didn't do it last summer, but I'm doing what is called a walk through the catechism with Father O'Brien.
Oh, you did that a couple of summers ago. It was really great.
So this summer we're doing part 3 of the catechism on the moral life, the 10 commandments. And literally, this is what's fun about it. We're going through the catechism paragraph by paragraph. So we're doing it every Saturday of the summer from 9:45 until 11 o'clock.
What day again?
Saturday. So you come to 9 a.m. Mass and then stay and we'll have a little breakfast and come for class.
I may be there.
Bring your catechism. It's going to be fun. And we'll also record it so it'll be available audio-wise. We're not live streaming it. But anyway, that's going on. So then we have lots of things for the kids. We have Vacation Bible School.
Oh, yeah.
Which is June 28th to July 1st. We have our youth mission trip. They're going to Mount Bayou, Mississippi, June 6th through the 11th. We have the Steubenville Conference for our teenagers. So this is for high school students, 9th through 12th. That's July 9th through 11th. We have Camp Xavier, which is like our week-long, it's almost like a parish mission just for teenagers. So we're investing heavily in the young people. That's going to be July 18th through the 22nd. That's all in the evenings, adoration, confession, and teaching. Okay. Then we have Xavier Family Nights, which we're doing. The first one is May 23rd. Then we have one in July. We have one in August. And this is actually really cool. We came up with this. So it's a Sunday night. You come at 5 o'clock. We have dinner. And then we break up into groups. And we have 4 different groups. We have English-speaking adults, Spanish-speaking adults, teenagers, and kids. And there's one topic. And each of the breakouts will be a talk on that subject for that particular age group. So the first one in May, which is next week, we're talking about the creed, like what we profess. So there's going to be a talk for adults, English, Spanish, talk for teens, talk for kids. Then the one in July is about the sacraments. How do we live out living the sacraments? How does God give us life? Same thing, 4 different groups. And then the one in August, we're calling Male and Female, He Created Them. And it's about human sexuality and the church's beautiful teaching on the human body and sexuality. But again, a talk for adults in English, Spanish, and a talk for teens and a talk for kids, all age appropriate. Wow. And then we have adoration, of course, Wednesday, Thursday, confessions. So if you said, I think this is a summer I'm going to take my faith and I'm just going to put it in my pocket for a couple months and rest.
Said no one.
I got another thing. You got another thing coming.
You got another thing coming.
So anyway, that's what we're doing this summer.
Okay. Wow,
and we have seminarians. We'll get them on the show.
Okay. Yeah, of which
so that'll be fun.
I want to say
Robert Williams, Joey Griggs, shout out.
Bishop Kelly seminarians.
They both went to Bishop Kelly. That
is
very interesting. Yeah, I've known them both for a long time. I've known Joey Griggs since he was like 5.
Yeah, Robert Williams.
Yeah,
when he was
Robert since he was in middle school. Yeah. Okay, so that's what's going on at St. John's. That's what's going on at St. Francis Xavier. But then let's talk larger than that for our second half of our show. What should people do? Things are opening up.
Correct.
So how if one wanted to take like maybe a little Catholic road trip?
Yeah, we're doing one this summer, kind of in the midst of it right now. The pilgrimage to St. Joseph's Church in St. Louis and the new cathedral in St. Louis, the City of St. Louis pilgrimage.
You're taking students?
Taking students. And then we're going up to Milwaukee and doing the old Polish Basilica and doing some of the historical Native American sites in there, and then going up to Our Lady's Shrine in north of Green Bay, Our Lady of Good Help.
You're going all the way there?
Yeah, and then we're going over to La Crosse to the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in La Crosse, and we're doing all sort of Native American and some Civil War battlefields on the way. I think it's called Mount Pleasant outside in Missouri. And then there's a shrine in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. It's called the Grotto. The
middle of nowhere, Iowa.
Yeah, it's called the Grotto, and we haven't been there yet, but I've never been there. And it's like Dubuque somewhere. Sioux City.
Oh, you should talk to my friend Father Bob Gross, who's a priest of Dubuque.
Oh.
He can tell you things.
Maybe it's the Diocese of Sioux City. Is that a diocese?
Sioux City is a diocese.
Okay, it's the Diocese of Sioux City.
Davenport is also a diocese.
Whoa, there's a lot of dioceses
in
up there.
Dubuque.
Yeah, they probably need to consolidate. There's a lot of dioceses up there. And then we're coming down to the
deal.
World War I museum in Kansas City.
What?
Unfortunately, I just found out that the art museum in Kansas City is closed on like Mondays and Tuesdays. Huh? Who does that? Anywho, apparently they don't have any business. And then we're going to Father Emil Capon. Some would say Capon.
Oh, you're going to
Shrine in Pilsen.
Pilsen, Kansas?
Yeah, Pilsen, Kansas, then coming back. So we're making this big loop with college students and doing a really sweet
How does
road
one
trip.
sign up for said trip?
Well, it's already signed up, and we've been having pilgrimage classes every Sunday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a done deal.
Yeah, there's 12.
So if you're new on this, then go away.
But we do a pilgrimage every year. Next summer, we're doing one through Poland. We're starting in Zakopane and we're going to Gdańsk. But in the United States, there's some really cool places to go on pilgrimage. You can, we're making a sort of American historical.
Yeah, it's sort of like half Catholic stuff, half history.
Yeah, our one to Belgium was called the Basilicas, Breweries, and Battlefields. Historical monasteries that are breweries.
That's hilarious.
Basilicas, where you find basilicas in small little towns all over the place, and battlefields. So we try to bring these three historical things together that have, the church has been around in the midst of them and lived through some wars. It's the Trappist Monastery in Gethsemane. The Trappist Monastery in Gethsemane
Kentucky.
Served both for a hospital for the North and for the Southern soldiers. They did not discriminate against people. They took people in and they cared for the wounded. So really cool. Like the church has been in the midst. Like a really great place to go to is Bardstown, Kentucky, which
I've been there.
every diocese.
I went to seminary very near there.
Yeah, St. Minor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Western United States was always known as the Diocese of Bardstown until sort of
Isn't that hilarious? And now no one's ever heard of it.
No one's ever heard of Bardstown, Kentucky. There's all these really awesome places and shrines to visit and battlefields to go and learn. Like while you were talking about what you guys were doing this summer, I was looking up the Mound Bayou, Mississippi, and just seeing what it was. And
there's a lot of history there.
There's a lot of cool history. Yeah, the populations are plummeting in some of these small towns, so it's really fantastic to go see them. And I would encourage you all to get out and, like people did last year. Some people rented pop-up trailers and little campers and went and visited the national parks and sort of like quarantined on the road as a family. But now that things are opening up,
camping.
Yeah, went camping is to get out as a family and share life together.
As Jim Gaffigan says, yeah, everybody camped until they invented the house. His whole thing on the phrase "happy camper."
Yeah,
he is not a happy camper.
It was never.
He said the phrase "happy camper" is always used to describe someone who's not happy. Why don't they just call him a camper?
There's some great opportunities to go out.
Be outside, and if you're freaked out, if COVID is still a thing, then I think what we're learning now, what we've seen from the CDC and all that is like being outside. I think we've kind of known that, but now there's like being outside is better than being inside.
Correct.
Yep.
Being with some people that are really good friends and have either A, have been vaccinated, B, have had COVID, or C, you've been around them so much that it's like, okay, we know that we're going to get it all together.
That's really what we have seen. I think we've both seen in our parishes. I think we've both experienced personally. It was like we miss being around people and like the idea of kind of spontaneous gatherings. So just as an example, we've been having we've had a few more people over to our rectory. And during COVID, we did not have anybody over. It was me, you, and Father Robert, and some seminarians.
And at one point in time, we had like 35 people over at. We probably had on one occasion I think we had 90 people over in our rectory over like a 4-day period because it was like dinners and events and student events.
And it's why this kind of sad thing is we built this rectory to be an extension of our parishes. Not that don't just like come over anytime.
Hey!
But to be able to host events, so we've had to kind of thank you dinners. You had your RCIA people over, and the beautiful thing about it is we're able to use like the outside. But I think that's what people have been missing. They've spent a lot of time with their own families, unless you're in a hospital or a nursing home, and then you haven't seen anybody. It's terrible. But that's what people are missing. And so the idea of like doing things together, and again, and safely following, the best of the science that we have.
Correct.
But that's what people have been missing. And we were made for each other. We were made for each other.
Yeah.
And so the idea that anyway, I think that's an important part of this summer, to just not let this thing fly by, but really be really intentional about who you're spending time with, and finding people maybe who have been lonely and isolated, and your neighbors, having them over. Correct. Again, safely, appropriately.
So in addition to like going out and hanging out with people, we mentioned last week about the role of the laity, the common people, of how they can get involved and how they're, what was the word? Co-responsible. That was from Pope Benedict XVI.
Yep.
Co-responsible for the parish. This is a great opportunity for you to set an appointment with your pastor also and say, hey, I want to help out. I think one of the things that priests of a sort of of an older mentality, just like we talked about the laity, they think, oh, I have to do this. But then, what I found is like,
why doesn't Father do more?
Well, this like Father has to do that, and so he thinks that's the weight on his shoulders. But if you want to like come to him and say, "Hey, I want to start a men's Bible study. I want to start a women's Bible study. I want to help out at the parish. I want to rebuild our Knights of Columbus. I want to have more social events with these people. I want to do these things in people's homes and do small communities." This is also an opportunity for you to sit down with your pastor and say, "Hey, I have these skills and talents that make me a very holy, saintly, awesome person." Now, just like the movie Taken, I have a set of skills that make me a very dangerous man.
Which I saw for the first time. I finally saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Taken. Don't watch it if you're sending your kids to Europe, by the way. Anyway, so this is an opportunity during the summertime to sit down with your pastor and say, "Hey, I would like to help you all, you and your associate out. Do you guys need do you need food? Do you need help with marriage preparation? Do you need help with evangelization? Do you need help in cleaning and ushering? Of putting those things together, how can I help you evangelize this place?" Because we heard the role of the laity in Lumen Gentium. A third thing that I think would be incredible to do, which I'm doing with my staff this year, but you're also, it sounds like you've been doing all year long with your staff, is continued education. It's continued education. So the Augustine Institute has these like one-off classes that you can take. And I find that Catholics or even Christian people are like, well, yeah, I know so much about my faith. Now the line is, theology is faith seeking understanding.
Yep.
And the word in there is seek.
Yep.
That faith seeks something more. It seeks to understand more.
Yeah, and it can't just be knowledge.
Right.
So you can be an atheist and know a lot about the church.
Oh, I know a lot of atheists that know a lot about the church. Mm-hmm. They were called my classmates from high school.
Yeah.
but also they know zilch about the church. They have accumulated.
They know facts.
Exactly. They have accumulated some sort of information. I'm rereading again. I kind of always reread it. The Soul of the Apostolate, which is for the priests and the laity.
Yep.
Because he talks about like building these like crack troops and these soldiers and these people who are going to go out and evangelize. And what it has to, this harmonizing has to take place is a life of contemplation, a life of prayer, and the intellectual life woven together. So this is also a great opportunity to go on the Augustine Institute. The Thomistic Institute has these YouTube videos, and you think like, oh, the church isn't very smart. This is the best and the brightest of the church has. Like,
seriously, go to the
St. Paul Center,
the Thomistic Institute, THOMISTIC.
Yeah,
Thomistic.
Exactly. On YouTube, and watch their video.
These guys, these Dominicans,
are
gosh, they like run circles around me, and that's why I love listening to them. I am like legit intellectually challenged by them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they use words. I mean, I feel like I know some words. Almost every time I listen to them, I'm looking something up, which is good. That's good for you, you know?
Exactly.
I'm looking something up, and it's taking me down in some area of theology that I just don't really know a lot about. I'm very limited. I'm only one person.
So
anyway, there's great stuff.
So I would encourage you to carve out some time. The St. Paul Center with Dr. Scott Hahn, who is one of the most brilliant.
Oh yeah.
If you want to read a really excellent book, Sister Prudence Allen, I'm diving into this.
That's
I bought
a
it for
great
someone, and it's called New Feminism. And it's a historical understanding of what feminism is like. And so I encourage you, Sister Prudence Allen, she got this book. She's a philosopher. She taught me in seminary. Brilliant. You can do some reading on that. Also, it's really good maybe to pull up the lives of the saints this year. There's a book called Butler's Lives of the Saints, and you can read a saint every day. Just you can buy it by the month. There's an older volume that's a lot better than the newer volume. The newer volume sort of abridged things. There was a weird one, and I picked it up one time. I was like, "What?" It wasn't Butler's Lives of the Saints. It had like some really cool saints and icons, and then it had like Gandhi, and I was like, "Wait a second, I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah, Gandhi was a great man, but
not this Book of the Saints.
Catholic saint. Yeah.
No, pass. And so if you're like, "Oh, I can't read because I don't have time for that," Brant Petrie, on his book on the Eucharist. What's it called? It's called
Jesus and the Jewish Roots of the Eucharist.
And then he's got another book called Jesus and Mary and the Jewish...
Jesus and the Jewish Roots of Mary or something.
Something along that. So Brant Petrie, intelligent. And you can go to his website and pay a small amount of money, just like the St. Paul Center. They have a St. Paul Center during COVID, had this series on the Eucharist. Fantastic. I watched it every day. And Clay and I talked about it, like we discussed it. So set up some studying, because it's a fantastic opportunity to intellectually grow, to use that thing that's on your head, not just for a hat rack, as I was told by one of my staff. Like I was like, that was pretty smart, and she said, "This ain't just for a hat rack, Father." And so using this noggin up here to seek. It says faith seeks understanding.
And one cool thing, would be to use the summer to almost like Lent, but like a kind of a concentrated time on a topic, on a saint, and not be so sort of all over the place, but like, okay, I'm going to concentrate on my prayer life. I'm going to concentrate on, maybe St. Joseph. Here we are in the year of St. Joseph. I'm going to concentrate. I've always wanted to know more about the role of the laity in the church. I've always wanted to know more about Mother Teresa. Always,
like the Rosary.
Yes, the Rosary. Just like dive in on a particular topic. Don't let this summer pass you by.
Right. So maybe even just like come up with a list of 5 things you want to start on.
Yep.
And I wouldn't go more than 3 to 5, because you're gonna as soon as you pull up Father Mike Schmidt's Bible in a Year or one of his videos on Ascension, awesome. You're gonna episode 100 of his Bible in a Year, rock the Casbah. Like I had former students texting me and say, "You got to listen to this." I was like, "I already listened to it."
Wow.
Episode 100. Start there.
Love it. Well, I know I'm going to do, I'm doing a little deep dive on St. Joseph. This is just personally.
Oh, okay.
And then on a pastoral, we're always wanting to like improve I want to be a better priest. And
thank you.
I've realized that so I'm going to do a lot of work on my Spanish this summer. I speak Spanish, but I can speak Spanish better, and I need to, for the good of my people.
Por la gente aquí en la ciudad de Stillwater.
For the people. Si se puede.
Si se puede.
All right. So that's what you should do this summer.
Este verano, por favor,
live it, man.
Lo haces.
Okay. Have a great day. We love you. Pray for us, please.
Peace.